And good afternoon, Port Jervis, and welcome to the Port Connects Spotlight Podcast. My name is Andrew Murata, host of the show, and we are live in studio. Yes, it's not remote. He's here in the flesh. Special day today. Coach John Faggione, all-time wins leader for girls softball here at Port Jervis. Scoreboard dedication day.
Thank you for having me. Great day today.
Coach, congratulations, my friend.
Thanks to be here.
Yeah, Coach John Faggione, everyone, class of 1990. You say the Faggione name around here, and people turn heads. They know both John and his brothers, his sister here, Colleen, with us as a teacher. So honored to have you on today, and I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a great day for Port Jervis and for me and my family.
Yeah. John, we're going to go out to the game in a little bit. The dedication is this afternoon, 4:15, out here on Spangenberg, Rollman Field. And they're going to rip that veil off, and it's going to say John Faggione scoreboard there. So what does that mean for you today? What are you feeling emotionally?
For me, I'm humbled and honored. Never thought something like this would ever happen. When you go into coaching, you don't think of something like this for yourself. You think of the success for your team, success for your players. But it's a nice surprise. And again, I'm humbled and honored. Hopefully, I'll get to see some former players, former coaches, and friends and family today. And hopefully, it'll be a good win for Port Jervis as well.
A little cold out there, Coach.
It's chilly. I wish we could have done this last week when it was in the 80s and 90s, but we'll take it.
When you coached and you had a crazy day like this where it was cold, what did you tell your players? Because it's a different game when you're bundled up, your hands don't feel as, what did you tell them?
We would always warn our players, if you want to use the word warn, to be prepared. Watch the weather the night before. Make sure you're prepared with hats, gloves, scarves, whatever you needed. And I come from a football coaching background, so we always coach in the cold fall. But you've got to still do your work. You've got to make sure that the girls are prepared for whatever competition is coming up next. And you really just have to kind of put it in the back of your mind and just go to work. Sometimes you limit practice a little bit. Maybe instead of going 2 hours, you go an hour and 45 minutes. Maybe you change the drills around a little bit to kind of keep the girls more active. That way they're not standing around the cold too much. And just try to make it a little bit more fun so that the cold doesn't get to you.
Yeah. We're going to be out there today. It's sunny, though. It's a little cold, like you said, always windy. And we're going to honor Coach Faggione, the scoreboard dedication. The voice of Port Jervis Athletics will be out there, Brian Rollman. And Tom Fagg, you're going to be on the radio today. Is that right? Or on the internet?
We think so.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom Faggione said they might be able to do the internet. So we'll see when we get out there later today. And, of course, the voice, Brian Rollman, will be doing the game play-by-play as well.
It's a special day when Brian Rollman's out there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Brian and I go way back. We're longtime friends. So
longtime roommates,
friends. So it's good to have him down there, and glad to see him doing the game for the girls as well.
Hopefully, he'll throw a couple one-liners in there.
Usually does.
Coach Faggione. So, John, let's take it back a little bit. Class of 1990. We've been chatting about this over the couple of years here. And you started coaching as varsity coach in 2002, 240 wins. So before we get to the coach in softball, you were a student here. You played sports? You were involved?
Yeah, in high school I played football all 4 years, and I ran track a couple of years.
Okay.
But football was really where I kind of learned my coaching philosophy, where I patterned my coaching philosophy off of.
Coach Corvino?
Coach Corvino, Coach Cimarano, and Coach Dave Simmons. They really ran fantastic practices and programs, very organized, very disciplined. And a lot of my coaching philosophy and came from them, how they ran practices, how organized they were, how they prepared their teams. And when I got into coaching, that was the one thing I wanted to continue to do was make sure that my teams were prepared the best they could. We never wanted to see a team get embarrassed. And I was always mad if we lost because we weren't prepared enough. So I definitely credit Bob, Ronnie, and Dave for really running an organized, this disciplined type of program, which I was also fortunate to coach with for many years as well. So really good foundation for my coaching.
A lot of football players become football coaches, and you said you were with them a little bit. How the break to softball then?
I started coaching softball. It's a funny story. Port Jervis Little League, 1991. I was dropping my sister off for Little League practice.
You're a freshman in
I'm a
college.
freshman in college, St. John's University. I'm home. My dad's like, you need to go drop your sister off for practice. So I drop her off. So I start to watch a little bit of practice. And I just noticed it's a little unorganized. There's not much structure, not many drills. And I'm coming directly from a football background from Coach Corvino. And I approached the coach at some point and say, any chance I can help out? Don't know much about softball, but maybe I can help organize practices and run drills. And they took me in, and from there, it's been a long, interesting, and fun journey. A lot of different people got me to where I am. The first main influence in Little League was the town of Deer Park supervisor Gary Spears. Gary Spears was a longtime youth football and youth softball coach. And in Little League, when your regular season is over, you now go to what they call tournament play. And the tournament coach is the coach who wins the regular season. Gary Spears and his team would always typically win the regular season. For some reason, Gary took a liking to myself and my brother Tom, and he invited us to help him coach the tournament teams. Now, these tournament teams, you would travel and play other districts, whether it be Cornwall, Minnesota, Middletown. And that really got my interest in softball. I really kind of understood what softball was all about at a very high competitive level for Little League. And we were able to win some district titles with Gary Spears, and that really kind of got me going in softball.
Okay. And after St. John's, you studied criminal justice. So you had some years in between there. What then brought you back to say, hey, I want to be at the high school coaching?
So I think it was about 1999. Our athletic director at the time was Bob Corvino. He knew I was coaching Little League. I'd also been a modified football coach for a year, and he had asked me if I was interested in coaching modified softball. That would be 1999. I said, I would love to. Let me clear it with my bosses. I want to make sure that
you were with Port Jervis Rec.
I was with Port Jervis Recreation Ready.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that my bosses, which would be the mayor and the common council, were aware that I was coming to coach in softball. They were all on board, and we had a great year, 1999. Then the following year, 2000, the JV job opened up. So once again, Bob Corvino asked if I'd be interested, and I said absolutely. Let's do it. And then for the next 2 years, I was the JV coach. And then after 2001, the varsity position became open. And once again, I was like, "What do you think, Fadge?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And that's where we are.
4 years from modified to varsity coach.
4 years from modified to varsity. However, 7 years in Port Jervis Little League and Port Jervis Little League tournament ball. So there was a lot of experience before I got to varsity.
Okay. Got to give a shout out, Tom Faggione, tuning in. Tom, thank you so much. Honored to be with your brother here. A special day for the Faggione family.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff there. So, Coach, you become the varsity coach. Again, 20 years. When you started out, looking back now, what is something, all this experience you have all these years later, what is something that, you didn't know then that you wish you knew, or as a rookie that you were kind of struggling with?
You can ask a lot of my former players who now are my friends. They would say I changed over the 20 years. I think in 2002, I was very more football-minded, regimented, disciplined. And I think from 2002 to 2021, I learned how to be more of a softball coach and learned how to deal more with female athletes than male athletes. So I think that I was a little uneducated, and I had to coach girls sports at the varsity level in 2002. And I was fortunate enough to have some great assistant coaches over the years to help me become a better coach and understand that the female athlete is different than the male athlete.
Yeah, Jenny Siegel back then, Dawn Jones, Coach George Rollman, and a long time with Casey Stankunas.
Yeah, I was so lucky. Jenny Siegel, I remember coaching her in Little League. And when I hired in 2002, I wanted to have an assistant coach with me. I especially wanted to have a female with me. I thought it'd be easier to deal with any issues we might have. Jenny was a great player when she played softball, and she was a big part of our 2002 team. After 2002, she couldn't do it anymore, so we brought on Dawn Jones. Back then, it was Dawn Coxon, and she stayed with me for quite a few years. She was fantastic, enjoyed the game. And then in 2008, Casey Stankinis joined us when she came to Port Jervis here from Valley Central. And Casey was with me for, I think it was 13 years.
Long time.
Yeah.
Great teacher, great friend, great competitor. And Coach, you did well. I mean, you extremely well. You won 5 Section 9 championships, 2011 Coach of the Year, and you were 5-0 in those championships.
Very lucky, yeah. I remember telling our 2018 team right before the game that this was my 5th title game, and I was 4-0 in these games. So no pressure.
No pressure.
But let's go do it. So that was kind of a joke before the game to kind of lighten the mood a little bit because everything was so intense before those games.
Yeah. Tom Brady can't even say that. He didn't go, 0 in the Super Bowls,
Yeah, but he did pretty well himself as well in the end.
Did okay, yeah. Coach, softball different than baseball. Baseball has got that, the rotation, the different pitchers, the rest. You could really pitch that same person a lot. And we've always had great athletes. But every once in a while, you'd have to mix it up, right? If that pitcher had been pitching, if they weren't feeling well, what was that call like for you to say, all right, take this stud pitcher out. We're not going to pitch her today. What was that call, and what went into that decision?
So really, to be honest, this was a combination of me and my assistant coaches. I would always refer to them what they thought we should do, and it was more of our scheduling. If we had a 4-game week, 4 in a row, we might want to look at the schedule to see who we're playing. Maybe we can give our starting pitcher, a rest. If we had rainouts, then our schedule got doubled up. We'd have to look at that as well. But with softball, it's just the arm circle is a natural motion, and in a 7-inning game, if you can pitch maybe 80 pitches, you're doing pretty well. But it really came down to scheduling and opponents, how we try to change our pitchers up to make sure that our pitchers weren't not overused and make sure they were rested up for, let's say, the playoffs or some very important league games.
Nice. Tricia Ann Halpenny pulling in, mom of Shrek. I'm not sure if you saw the play.
Didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard it was amazing.
Oh, my God. Trish, I saw Noah outside. I wanted his autograph after the show. Hello, Claire Dillon, Port Jervis teacher here. Coach, again, a long run, a lot of decisions there over the years. When you look back 20 years, and it's been a couple of years since you've been away from coaching, what are some of the things you remember?
Well, first off, the players. I was so fortunate and lucky to have fantastic players for 20 years. I think if you're a coach and you've got fantastic players for a few years, you should be grateful. But I was just so lucky and fortunate to have great players from 2002 all the way through 2021. Some great moments where I wouldn't say all the championship games, just maybe some small moments. There were games where we were not favored to win. We're going in as a big underdog, and somehow we pull wins out. There were games where we were expecting to win, and we came up on the short end of the stick. So, those are memories that stick with you as far as memorable moments with the girls and the team. A lot of games to go through, so it's kind of hard to kind of pinpoint any of them specifically, but just the wins and losses that you didn't expect or expected were very memorable.
So many of our coaches here, John, our superintendent, John Bell, Coach Semirano, they could say, oh, yeah, that was week 3 of the 1982 season, and we played such and such. The score was such as. Do you have one of those memories that you could take a certain player and be like, oh, yeah, she played in 2014. She was my first baseman. She went on to Marist College. Like, do you have that memory? Like that?
I have a lot of memories. Yeah, 2003 to 2005, we had a left-handed shortstop, which you don't see a lot in baseball or softball. So that sticks out in my memory. Fantastic athlete. 2009, we were the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. We had a first-round bye. We're hosting our first game, which was the semifinals, and we get upset. 2003, we are in midst of a 6-18 season. It was a rough season. The year prior, we had graduated 10 seniors.
Oh my God!
So we were starting from scratch, and we're going up against Menacing Valley at Menacing Valley under the lights, and we beat them. So those are little things, little memories that you kind of stick in your mind. And of course, the championships. Each one have a special memory and a special place in my heart. They're all as important as the others. No one stands out as that's better than the other. Even though I could say that 2018 might be the most memorable. And for people listening out there, they'll know we're coming off, I think it was an 8-11 season, and we kind of struggled a little bit. We go up to New Paltz for a semifinal game. Earlier in the year, New Paltz came here to Port Jervis, and they beat us 8-0. They had a stud pitcher. So we go up there, no expectations from, let's say, the fans, maybe the players, maybe even the coaches. And we beat them 2-1. So we go into the championship game, and we're playing our nemesis, Cornwall. And Cornwall had beaten us twice that year already, I believe. And just all the stars lined up for us that day, and we beat them 11-0. And it was an amazing game. The crowd was amazing. The kids were amazing. I still have pictures that I refer to every once in a while. It was an insane scene.
Awesome. I'm so glad you remember those. Again, 240 wins, all-time coach, winning coach here, girls softball. Incredible. John, over your time here, social media and the availability of people to voice their opinions, good or bad, is there. Did that weigh on you as a coach later in your career with social media, emails? If people weren't happy, so-and-so deserved more playing time. Did those things bother you if they got out there in the public? Or how did you deal with negative criticism? And it might not be negative. It's negative from someone's opinion.
I think every coach deals with that at every level, whether it be little league, high school, college, and pro. It's something that you have to be. You understand what you're doing is best for the team, not any individual. And it's going to ruffle feathers, or it's going to upset maybe some parents or players, but you've got to worry about the team as a whole. And you, as a coach, you've got to kind of put that in the back of your mind and not worry about it. If you've got to make decisions based on what people are saying about you or wanting you to do, then you're not a true coach to your team or your players. So it's hard to do, but you got to do it. I was very fortunate to have very little of that in my years. I had great parents. I really did. And that does make it easy as well. We had some great memories with our parents, and they were very supportive. But yes, you've got to coach for the team, not for an individual. And if you and your coaching staff feel it's the right decision, then you got to go with it. And then you got to explain to your player and your parents why you made those decisions. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll disagree. I know they won't like it, but hopefully in the end they'll understand why you did that.
Well, you and your family, all your family, so easy to get along with, approachable, friendly, understanding. Your brother Tom involved in politics, your sister here, at the school district. I have never met anyone who said an ill word about you. It's just you have such a nice way about you,
Well, we appreciate. That's from our upbringing. Our dad was, and our mom. Our dad was a very low key guy. He was. He raised us right. Our mom raised us right, and always taught us to have manners, have respect. So that's comes from our upbringing, and that's for anyone. It really, if they're raised properly, the correct way, they'll be great adults when they get older.
Yeah, certainly. Again, the Faggione family, Coach Faggione here. John, heavily involved in the community too. Port Jervis Recreation Director for over 30 years. We were chatting off air about when that chapter will close, but a long time in our community. So many events, so much growth in the community. But you're involved in all of it. Talk to me about that community involvement and just being involved in everything in Port Jervis.
When you come from a small city, a small community, it is important to be involved because everybody knows everybody. And if we can put on an event that's going to bring pride to our city, our town, whether it be to the school district or the city, we want to bring people to our town, our city. We want to show off what we have, our assets here. And involving the community as well, students from the school, adults in the community, to be part of these programs and these events just makes it even more special. It takes a village, and it does. A lot of these events that the Recreation Department does is a combination of volunteers, students, and adults. And it's just fantastic to see how many events that our city has. We have a little pamphlet out every year, and there's at least probably 20 different events that go on, not through my department, just the city in general. Mm-hmm. And it's great to see between the watershed trails, between the Port Jervis Tourism Board, the Recreation Department. There's just so many events for people to do, whether it be hiking or biking or floating down a river or festivals or 5K races or trail races. So it's really good. I love it. I don't think I'd be here 30 years if I didn't do it. I didn't think 30 years ago I would be doing this, but life takes certain turns, and you just kind of follow it.
Yeah. But you're always working. Like every weekend, I see you at an event, you're here, you're there. It's like you and your brother, your sister, you're at all the events. You're always working, but when you love it, it's like it's your life, right?
Right. And, one comment I want to make, shout out to Mr. Dr. John Bell. Dr. John Bell, many people might not know, he was the director of recreation before I became a director of recreation. It was a part-time job back then. The city merged it into a full-time job, and I was fortunate to get hired. So Dr. John Bell was one of the influences in my life to say, hey, why don't you come over to recreation and try working for the city? I think you'll do really well at it. So that was back in 1996. So yeah, thanks to Dr. John Bell for getting me involved in recreation, and he's still involved. Him and his brother are a big part of our Delaware River Run, which is in 2 weeks. He's still an influence as far as with things that I do with recreation.
And he's still involved in Port Jervis athletics. You, as a community member here, what's your thoughts on? We're going to go out to a beautiful, brand new field next to the brand new baseball field, brand new Chase Field. Dr. Bell is behind all of that, kind of making this all work. What's it like for you as a former coach, but community member, to see not only the facilities at the school, but also in the city, the kind of a renaissance here? What does that mean to you?
It's fantastic. It's great to come down to the high school and middle school campus now and see Chase Field, the baseball field, Spangenberg Rollman Field, and just see how gorgeous they are. It's made me, as the recreation director, kind of push our facilities a little. We are in the midst of, we just put a splash pad in at our Church Street Park. We are in the process of renovating Church Street Park, our lower level, to fix up our basketball courts and tennis courts, and maybe create some pickleball courts. So I've been using the school district as an influence to the city. Like, the school's doing a great job. Let's improve our facilities. One of the things that the city says is you want people to work, live, and play in Port Jervis. Well, play is part of my description. So we try to really improve our facilities, and I'm really kind of springboarding off what the school's done. It's just fantastic. And I just love the people, the visitors who come and look at our facility and are just in awe of how our facility looks. When you drive down Hamilton Street and you come down, you've got Chase Field to your right and the baseball and softball field to your left, and then the basketball court and tennis courts. It's amazing.
The trees, right?
The
it's
trees.
Just in bloom now. Yeah,
it's an amazing setting. And I've been in a lot of schools over my 20 years, and we're one of the best as far as facilities are concerned at this day. It's fantastic. And I come from a day where my first year there was no dugout. The bench was a wooden bench, and you would have to prepare for foul balls. And then we went to a fence in front of our bench, and then we got dugouts. So I've seen the progression from a bench to a nice enclosed field.
And here we are today, going to celebrate you. You're going to be on the scoreboard there, going down in Port Jervis athletic history. It's just great stuff here. And John, you're going to get some accolades today, but we wanted to give you something that means a lot to us. It's the Port Pride coin. You've earned this, and it's got a lot on here. Be responsible, be respectful, be involved, be honest, and be kind. And if you ask about John Faggione, you are all of those and more. So this is for you. It's a handshake.
Thank you.
You get to keep that.
Appreciate it.
He's also, he's got to get some port stickers and swag here. So these are for you also, Coach.
Great, appreciate it.
Yeah. And I know we were chatting about PJ Rec a little bit. We're going to put out a joint announcement. You have your kind of your summer schedule, right? And people can sign up to get alerts for the events going on with PJ Rec in the city. Am I saying that right?
Correct. So the city of Port Jervis has what we call Nixle. So it's an alert you can get either through your email or through text. You sign up for it. And anytime the city wants to put out a message, whether there's hydrant flushing or whether garbage can be picked up or there's road closure or recreation, if we have events going on, we can input that information into Nixle, and then it'll be shot out to all the different people who signed up. We're also going to work with the school to use, I believe it's called Parent Square to get the message out about our summer programming. Summer recreation is very big for Port Jervis. I was part of it when I was a kid, and we want to make sure that kids have places to go for free this summer. So we'll get that information out probably in May, and look forward to our flyers for all the events we do and all the programs we do. Summer recreation is a big part of Port Jervis history, and it's important for our community.
Yeah, and it's good for our kids to know that, our families. So we will definitely collaborate, get that out together. And I know you sent me the stuff, so we will get that out in the next couple of weeks. So again, thanks you, Mr. Harris. Coach Faggione's dedication is inspiring, well-deserved, and honored. Congratulations, John, from Bill Harris.
Thanks, Bill.
Big fan of the program here. So the ceremony is going to be outside shortly, 4:15 today, naming the scoreboard after Coach Faggione. Coach, looking back, you've been a mentor to many, and you weren't a teacher here in the district, but still a coach, and again, a mentor and a coach to so many people. Looking back, your time, class of 1990, so 86 to 90, you were at the high school, but maybe even before that. Who are some people that you remember that positively impacted your life that you'd like to recognize or give a shout out?
Yeah, we already said his name a few times, but Bob Corvino was a big influence. Not only was he my football coach in high school, he was also my elementary phys ed teacher at HBE, Hamilton Bicentennial. So he was a big influence in my life. Mr. George Rollman was my 10th grade social studies teacher, who then has become my mentor as a coach. He's been a big part of my life as far as my knowledge of softball, my love of softball, and my success with softball. Mr. Kevin Birmingham was a fantastic teacher.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer
Kevin
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Was a great individual who really taught you a lot of, not about just the class you were in, but life. And those three gentlemen were just fantastic growing up here in high school.
Yeah, a big proponent of Port Jervis athletics. Always at the events.
Always saying a kind word to me, and always having a nice, funny remark as well. And then, of course, one person I need to mention is Mr. Jim Caliaco, retired band teacher here in Port Jervis. I don't remember a time when he wasn't standing behind our dugout watching us. I would just turn over my left shoulder, coaching third base, and there was Jim for almost every home game for many, many years.
Yeah.
Great supporter of the program and a good friend as well.
Certainly the voice of the Port Jervis football team many years before Brian Rollman.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Jim Caliaco was the voice, and then Brian became the voice too.
That's right. My memories of coming to Port Jervis and hearing him on the loudspeaker. He announced all your games.
He announced all the games that I played, and then he was announcing when I was coaching. So yeah,
wow.
And then his connection with softball which made it very neat.
I love it, Coach. This has been fantastic. Congratulations for today.
Thank you.
It means a lot to us, and I'm happy for you. You're a good person. You're a good coach. You're a good man. And sometimes those people go under the radar. So we're happy that this day is for you. And certainly it's going to be a beautiful afternoon.
Thank you. I just wanted to also add, today is my sister's birthday.
Oh,
Mrs. Koenig.
Mrs. Koenig?
From the high school. It is her birthday, so it's her day as well. So I want to make sure she gets her happy birthday here on social media, and I'm sure I'll see her later today.
Yeah, excellent teacher.
Thank you.
Really a great teacher. Coach, I asked a lot of questions. Is there anything else you wanted to share? We have a couple more minutes here. Is there anything you wanted to say?
I need to thank a lot of people. First and foremost, I want to thank the administration for doing this. Dr. John Bell, I know was integral in this. Our AD, JJ Gass, yourself, Mr. Rada, and whoever else. Very humbled, very honored, and I appreciate that. Definitely want to thank all of not just my varsity assistant coaches, but all my JV and modified coaches throughout the years. Caitlin Gunderman, a teacher here. Trish Taub, a teacher here. Sarah Byrne, current varsity coach, former JV coach, former player of mine. Mike Simmons was a longtime JV coach with me here. Nikki Beam, now Nikki Hartman. So many coaches that were coaching underneath me and supported me. And without them, we wouldn't be here today. And then, of course, three men who were big part of my softball career. Mr. Angelo Matz from Delaware Valley, big part of my career. Mr. Bruce Guyette from Menacing Valley, and then, of course, Mr. George Rollman. I was very lucky to be surrounded by Mr. George Rollman, 130-game winner.
The original Mr. Rollman.
And Mr. Spangenberg. Mr. Matz from Delaware Valley, who won over 400 high school games.
Wow.
And Mr. Guyette from Menacing, who won over 600 high school games.
Oh,
These gentlemen were a big part of my career, and they really taught me a lot of the game. They taught me how to coach. They taught me how to handle situations, and they brought me into their softball family and kind of really with open arms, and really taught me so much and accepted me, and really big influence in my coaching, and then where we are today.
Awesome. Well said, Coach. A lot of people here, and but you've been the one there at the helm, 20 years, 240 wins, 5 section titles, and 5-0 in those games. Coach of the year in 2011. It's been great, Coach, and happy to be part of this today, and happy to see this happening for you. When you drive down the road there, that beautiful road you said with the fields on the sides, it's pretty big. It's 18 feet wide.
Wow. Okay.
We're going to see it today.
it.
So John Faggione scoreboard right on the field there, connected with Spangenberg, Rollman Field. So it'll be there forever.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, this is John Faggione, class of 1990. A quick word before we go. Coach is very involved with our alumni, with our school. I did want to mention our Port Jervis Alumni Association. We are looking to get active with this and get people signed up, get people engaged. And I have a short video of Dr. John Bell explaining it. So, Coach, if I could take a moment just to play this for a moment, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Thanks, friends.
Hey everybody, this is John Bell. I'm the superintendent of the Port Jervis City School District. I'm also an alumni, class of 1985. And the reason I bring that up is I'm coming to you today to talk about having you join the Port Jervis High School Alumni Association. If you're a graduate of Port Jervis, we would love to have you join our association. It's free to join. All the information is on our website. So we encourage all our alums to do that. Secondly, we're trying to create almost like our own Port Jervis version of LinkedIn for people who might be able to help our students and maybe some of our recent graduates as well, whether it's helping people with you coming to speak in person, to speak online to our students and staff, maybe helping kids with internships, job shadowing, other job opportunities like that through a LinkedIn type vehicle. And then the third thing, there are going to be future opportunities for alums to be involved with the school district. It may be in supporting initiatives in the academics, the arts, athletics. It might be participating in upcoming events. In the fall, we'll have our next Hall of Fame induction banquet. It's just one example. But again, we want this to be a source that we'll provide more information to you so you know about what's going on with your old school.
All right. I didn't want to play that whole thing. Thank you, Dr. Bell. That was a recorded message. But Coach is a very involved alum, and he has joined. And so it's all on our website, the links to sign up. And again, a quick explanation. There's kind of 2 different parts. There's one that you could just sign up just to get the alerts, just to get the information. We're going to start posting more of that. The other one is to be connected to the school district. The teachers will have access to you, whatever you leave, your cell number, your email. And if you are a lawyer and you want to speak to, one of the social studies classes or a law class, if you're an engineer and you want to speak to a tech class, you want to have a connection there, you have an internship that you want to advertise with us, we can help make all those connections. So we're happy to get this started, and it's great people like you that are going to help Port Jervis schools as you continue on in your career.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to get out to the field. I mean,
Absolutely.
I got the man here. So we'll be out there. The ceremony 4:15. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this on record, jump in and leave John a positive comment. He has earned that. He deserves it. And he's a great guy. We're happy to have him back with us here, and happy to honor him today. So
Thank you so much.
thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon down the road here. Coach John Faggione, all-time wins leader, Port Jervis girls softball. We're going to get him out to the field for the scoreboard dedication today. So, John, I wish you good health, and certainly our connection with the schools will continue.
Thank you so much.
All right. Can I get a go Port?
Go Port.
Bam. See you, everybody.